My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
We're back here at Cadwell Park for our second visit in 2018 with the Hyundai Construction Equipment British Sidecar Championship. We're outside the Santander Salt Awning, which houses Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark champions designate. Two strong finishes, a couple of third places in this weekend's races will confirm them as 2018 champions. It's been a brilliant season for them, almost flawless. They sit right on top of the pile. Just look at the massive points gap they have and you'll see what I mean. Almost flawless, 14 victories, 406 points. Ellis, well, mathematically can still do it, but he's really got to do something special here. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde have been strong all season. Stevens and Charwood have been improving, and they go very well here at Cadwell. They are second in the 600 Cup behind Ellis and Richardson. That's the battle at the top. A hugely appreciative Cadwell crowd. They love their sidecars here at Cadwell Park. Saw race one get off the line in glorious conditions, and from pole position Steve Kershaw did not make the best of it because Gary Bryan slotted through from alongside him, taking Horsepole with him and Todd Ellis. Fighting hard in fifth at that point, Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood. They were going well too. Very quickly dispatched Gary Horsepole and set off after their 600cc Cup rivals Ellis and Richardson. The battle further back was alive as well, but Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley went past Andy Peach. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards take no prisoners, though they fought back. Their corner speed always impressive. And out at the back at Cadwell, it's flowing and it's fast. Up the front though, Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood moved alongside Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, took the place, but then going into Coppice there was an almighty coming together. Both outfits were on the grass at high speed. The nose cone of Todd Ellis is utterly removed and demolished, and it was game over for both those outfits, and it was no use getting upset about it. It was a racing incident. Just look at that. Into the back of Stevens went Todd Ellis, both outfits on the grass. That left things at the front then between Kershaw and Gary Bryan. Kershaw very quickly down into Mansfield, went past Gary Bryan. You can see the onboard shot there as Kershaw slotted past to take the lead. He was at this point on target for a victory here, and with Todd Ellis out of the race, pretty much the championship would be assured if he could bring it home. Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley went past Dean Nichols. Also, Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp were in the mix as well, having a brilliant ride here. A relatively small turnout of outfits, only 16 started the race, and it was to turn out to be something of a race of attrition, but Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp standing in for Geraint Schmitz this weekend acquitted themselves very well indeed. Adam Nix was to fall from the sidecar of Greg Lambert, rolling over on the tarmac, fortunately without injury. The big gentleman got to his feet and scrambled to the side, Lambert making it into the pits solo. Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley on their way down got it on the grass towards the gooseneck, ran across the circuit to rejoin again. So that short outfit Suzuki back on track, but it was a hairy moment and it was all over for them. Let's have a look at how it happened. Walmsley's hand went in the air to say to Dean Nichols, we are in trouble. I don't think Dean Nichols needed any notice of that. And Founds and Walmsley were to retire from the race. So it was game over for Pete Founds, who'd actually spent the night in hospital with his little boy. So he got here late. Maybe that was the cause of the problem. But it was British Championship on their way to victory for Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark, lifting the title. The absence of Todd Ellis confirming them champions. Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde coming over into a brilliant second place, and it was another podium here at Cadwell, third time this year for Horsepole and Ginny Cole. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards brought it home fourth. That was a good ride for them, but no disputing the race winners and 2018 champions, Kershaw and Clark. There it is confirmed, 25 seconds the margin at the end. Horsepole, Peach and Biggs, great, and Dean Nichols, Kenny Cole, what a ride for them. Further down the order, all those DNFs, only 8 finished in actual fact, so it was a race of attrition. Well, the pit board says it all. British champions 2018, Stephen Stewart. Huge relief or just great satisfaction?
Great satisfaction. Not relief, it was relief with the first win, but that is satisfaction. That's 10 years worth of hard works and massive ups and downs, and we've just kept going, and here we are.
Well, I can tell Steve's emotionally charged. Do you feel a bit the same?
Yeah, you know, Steve approached me 2 years ago, and so he asked me if I wanted to come back passenger in, and he made no bones then that he wanted to win the championship, and it's been his ambition all his life, and as one of his close friends to help him do that, and here we are standing British Championship winners on the year that he said he wanted to do it. Fantastic. I just want to say a massive thanks to all the team and my family and all our sponsors. You know, Blink Bonnie Corey, Jimmy Shanks and Ian Hamill have been with us for 10 years, and then Roger Body's coming this year. It's been fantastic with Molson, Santander, Salt, KCP, Fuchs, Silkaleen, you know, the whole team. We can't do it without them. All our little sponsors, Biker Soon, Rob, and the Garlands that are here every weekend. It just makes the world a difference. It really does. Thank you.
Unbelievably, there were only 8 finishers in race 1, so we've reversed the top 8. Newly crowned champions Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark here then, with that wonderful feeling of no pressure. Is there ever such a thing in the head of a racer? I doubt it, but they are the champions. Moving forward, the man we really expect to take a flyer led the first race, Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. That big Kawasaki is always very, very quick off the mark. Gary Horsepole already a podium. He and James Connell, brilliant in race 1, already a podium. They're solid 5th in the championship. They need to protect that at all costs. Moving further up, it was a great ride by Andy Peach and Ken Edwards. By Andy's own admission, not the quickest engine in the world, but the corner speed is good. And if these boys get stuck in, get a good start, then here we go. Rob Biggs, Justin Sharp on board for this one. Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp, a good solid 5th place for them. They were flying in race 1. Moving to the sharp end, we've got Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole, Brian Gray and Jason Pitt. And the pole position, he's doing an extra warm-up lap, is Nev Jones. Not for the first time he's been on pole. How long will it last? Well, how long indeed? Nev Jones on pole position. The crowd, as I said, love their sidecar racing here. This is 10 laps, this race, and there is Nev Jones and Rob Child in pole position. They've got a load of angry bees behind them, the number 75 outfit. Alongside them, the number 7 of Brian Gray and Jason Pitt, the Taurus Tools bike of Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp slotting in right behind Gray, so they can see maybe a way through there. They're tucked in behind Brian Gray. Horsepole is strong as well. Look for the big engines. Look for 68. We're on board now with Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde, who had a bit of a touch onto the rear tyre of Horsepole, and away they go. Hyde then tucked in behind the sidecar. We can't see him. He's right down there behind Gary Bryan. There they are, the white outfit. Ahead of them, Kershaw. Kershaw did not get the best of starts, but it's a cracking start for Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole, number 11. Away they go. They're absolutely flying. Kershaw then dispatching one more. He's on the back now of Nev Jones, the pole position man. Through he goes. So Kershaw then already champion, celebrating in the sun here at Cadwell Park as they go round Park Corner up to Chris Curve down towards the gooseneck. Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole out of Highbridge in Somerset, leading Gary Horsepole and Jimmy Connell, 5th in the championship. Down they go then. Gary Bryan taking no prisoners, is he? Through he goes on the inside of Brian Gray on the 600cc. And there the yellow helmets of Horsepole and Jimmy Connell. Up towards Mansfield, through they go then towards the bottom of the mountain. Dean Nichols, Horsepole behind him. So these early laps proving to be a fantastic ride by Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole. There they are. Horsepole looking right, looking left. Is there a way through into Hall Bends? Well, he knows he's got the newly crowned champion. Well, he doesn't know probably, but he has got him right behind him. Kershaw and Clark, number 29, pushing. These are the top 4. Just look at them go. And there in the background you can see Brian Gray going strongly. Number 7 outfit, Brian Gray and Jason Pitt, the first of the 600s. Todd Ellis and Ricky Stevens have come right from the back of the grid, because you saw the incident in the opening race. That sidelined them, put them on the back of the grid, so they're having to fight their way through. Are they going to be able to do anything about it? They've got to keep it tidy. Look at these 4. Nichols, Horsepole, Kershaw, not having an answer for these boys. Now, is he being charitable? Come on, these guys are really flying now. Look at Dean Nichols, he's holding off Kershaw and he's holding off Gary Horsepole. Jimmy Connell over the back. You can see that yellow helmet. There they are, these 4. And Gary Bryan sitting in 4th there, trying to find a way through. Down the gooseneck they go again. Brian Gray not letting him get away. He's tucked in very, very well, Brian Gray. And side by side through goes Gary Horsepole. Horsepole up into the lead then. So now leading Gary Horsepole and Jimmy Connell. Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole relegated to 2nd. No disgrace though. And right behind them, they've got Gary Bryan. Look at Gary Bryan, 68. Phil Hyde hanging out on the left. He parted company in qualifying actually. He thought Gary Bryan was doing a pit stop, but he wasn't, and then he gunned it up the mountain. Phil Hyde exited stage left, but he's okay, and he's doing a great job now behind Dean Nichols. They are up to 3rd in the race. Horsepole leads. Horsepole and Jimmy Connell, there they are, number 32. There's Dean Nichols. Then it's Gary Bryan. Then it's Kershaw in 4th, seemingly unable to do anything about it. Here we go. Gary Bryan moves out alongside, and he has passed Dean Nichols, and Kershaw has gone with him. Steve Kershaw, the champions, he and Stuart Clark have gone on the back of Gary Bryan. These two have clashed swords many times this season. Gary Bryan is so quick out of the gate. Ricky Stevens fighting through then, looking at the back of the Taurus Tools bike of Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp. So the midfield pack as Stevens fights through is very much alive. Where is Todd Ellis as well? We need to find out where Todd Ellis was. He similarly to Stevens started at the back of the grid. Kershaw and Clark now up to 2nd on the back of Horsepole. Gary Bryan going with them. Still in 4th place, it's Dean Nichols. This now the battle for the lead on lap 3 of 10, so a long, long way to go in this race. Horsepole making himself as wide as possible, and that's not difficult here at Cadwell because it is a narrow circuit, but not too narrow for Kershaw to go through. He found a gap there at the bottom of the mountain. I remember seeing a similar pass by Tim Reeves on the Birchall Brothers there a few years ago. There's not really room for 2 at the bottom of the mountain, but it is a passing opportunity. Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp there on the Taurus Tools Honda, taking it wide onto the grass. But recovering, that is where Phil Bell came unstuck here. Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley going through, having a better ride this time on their Suzuki, their short chassis Suzuki, on lap 4 of 10. And Kershaw then back where he belongs, if you pardon the pun. At the front of the race then, Todd Ellis fighting through. He and Chaz Richardson looking strong, but it's Ricky Stevens and Ron Child who've got the better of them at the moment. They're up then, they're behind Brian Gray. They're fighting hard. This battle all the way down the field. Dean Nichols holding off Brian Gray, and here comes, Todd Ellis through there. Look at him tucked down. He means business, this boy, doesn't he? Todd Ellis then, right on the back of Dean Nichols. Closing in, closing in, closing in, and through he goes. What a magnificent pass that was. Ellis then through. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood on the case now of Dean Nichols, but Dean Nichols and Kenny Cole have ridden very, very strongly. The Quattroplant JG Speed Fit Kawasaki of Ricky and Ryan galloping up places through the field, but ahead of them, Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, who've made a better fist of fighting through the field from the back of the grid. And these two outfits then have been at it, nip and tuck from Thruxton. They had a coming together at Thruxton, they've had another coming together here, and it's going to be very interesting going into the 2019 season when everyone is on 600cc power, just to see how these boys fare. Let's see then, can the 600 find a way past that big Kawasaki of Dean Nichols, who's got better and better and better, and having one of his best weekends. Look how he's holding off Ricky Stevens. Kenny Cole, who look over the shoulder, can't believe they're doing so well. John Lowther there in the background, just very briefly. Through goes Rob Biggs on Pete Found, so the long chassis of Rob Biggs' Honda goes through. Gary Horsepole has now got Todd Ellis breathing down his neck. The number 6 with a new fairing on there, had to replace the whole fairing, and some radiator damage was sustained in that first off in race 1. Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson, the 600, no match for Gary Horsepole's Kawasaki along the straight. And you can see now the lead 6 seconds at the front for Kershaw, and he's similarly 6 seconds ahead of this battle you're watching now. In 3rd place at the moment, it's Gary Horsepole. In 4th, it's Todd Ellis. Nichols still holding an absolutely fine 5th. Brilliant race. Horsepole doing a sterling job here on lap 6 of 10, holding off Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson. What a cracking race they are having. Todd Ellis is going to have to do it on the brakes, and I suspect at the bottom here going into Mansfield. Oh, look at that, through he goes. That's his favourite passing place. He's picked up several places during the course of this race at that very point. Oh, Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley getting it wrong again onto the grass, so not having a happy time here. The sidecar flicked in the air. Is he minus passenger, or is Jevon still with him? Yeah, he's there, but it's the sidecar wheel arch which appears to have come adrift. That was a hairy moment. You don't want that happening. Here we still have this battle. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood then on the back of Dean Nichols, going into the bends here, down towards the hairpins. Through they go, round, exiting the hairpin, down towards Barn corner, the right-hander before the sprint to the line. Dean Nichols holding off Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood at this moment in time, and I don't think they're going to do it along the straight. Over the line one more time they go. And you can see then Ellis in 3rd. Past Horsepole, we saw that move at the bottom of the gooseneck into Mansfield. And still Dean Nichols, Kenny Cole in 5th ahead of Stevens. Brian Gray, Jason Pitt having a sterling ride, and you can see it on. There's Brian Gray, number 7 on the Brian Gray power biking Yamaha out of High Wycombe. And Simon Gilbert and Jack Tritton now on the Draper Tools, Draper Racing, I beg your pardon, Draper Racing Yamaha right there with Brian Gray. So 2 red bikes locked together. Still no answer from Dean Nichols. Ricky Stevens looking at the inside, but Nichols closes the door, far too wily for that. Now the sprint along to the chicane here. Oh, through he goes on the right hand side. Oh, bit of a kiss on the way through, and he does it. Takes the place. Dean Nichols unceremoniously relegated, and Brian Gray then right on the back of the man from Somerset. Brian Gray and Jason Pitt, the number 7 bike, have had an absolutely brilliant 2018 season, and his just as I said that, the commentators curse Brian Gray running onto the grass at the bottom of the mountain. That's not the way to do it, Brian. You know better than that, all your vast Grand Prix experience. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards a retirement, so that's a shame. 4th place in the opener, but it's not to be in race 2 for Andy Peach. There's Simon Gilbert then, and Jack Tritton on the number 51 Draper Racing Yamaha, the old Screamer Yamaha, not a crossplane. And race leaders on the final lap, Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark. Champions. What a way to celebrate here at Cadwell Park. They can now go into Assen and Brands Hatch knowing there's no pressure. If ever there's a situation where there's no pressure and you're a racer, that I doubt very much. They're now cruising on the final lap and it's looking really, really good. Kershaw and Clark then heading for victory number 2 here, moving them on to 16 wins in 2018. Impressive stuff indeed. Checkered flag for them. And in second place, and that's looking now for Gary Bryan. Over the line they go. It's a significant. Here we are, second place then for Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. And close behind them, what a fight from the back of the field for Toll Ellis and Chaz Richardson getting on the podium. And this scrap further down the order, a live race long. On the back of it, Rob Biggs and Justin Sharp. But Dean Nichols, what a terrific race he's had for 10 laps, fighting off all those unwanted attentions. But there it is, victory for Kershaw and Clark. Race 2 here at Cadwell, already champions. Brilliant. And it could not happen to 2 nicer and more modest fronts. Confirmed then 15 seconds. Ellis, that's the podium. Kershaw, Bryan and Ellis. Horsepole, Stevens, great battle all the way through the field. Nichols and Cole, fantastic ahead of Simon Gilbert, Jack Tritton, Brian Gray and Biggs there. And further down the order, Lambert, Russell and the 4 DNFs headed by Peach. Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson from the back of the grid. The broken nose cone you just saw was the result of race 1. Race 2 though, dream start, absolutely brilliant race through to a podium. Well done.
Yeah, it was good. We got away and good start and that off the back, and I tried to make with my throw with them as careful as I could, and it got to about 3 or 4 laps. I come out of barn and thought, yeah, the roll's still there and just in sight, and just kept plugging away, won a lap and just run out of time, but nearly caught Gary in the end. So.
Gary and Phil, what can I say? You said to me earlier you had a plan for the start. Well, that didn't quite work out, did it?
No, it didn't. I got my route picked, and it was closed by the time I got to it. So the back wheel spun a bit, and then to be fair, them slightly slower lads are just as quick in the straight, so you get lined up to pass them. But the first few laps was hectic. Like I even got back past Steve at one bit because he was diving one way, I was diving the other. A real good race.
Double victory, the championship, and a lap record to boot. Steve, couldn't be a better weekend. What a way to finish.
It couldn't be. There's simply nothing to add to that. It was been a dream come true this weekend. It has, absolutely.
With double points at Brands, there's still plenty of time for the others to play catch up, but it's an impressive 16-win total for Kershaw and Clark. Hyde there, he looks third, secured. Stevens, though, might have a view on that. Horsepole fifth, of course. 600 Cup, Ellis from Stevens. That's where the battle is, but Brian Gray, respectable. Well, Cadwell Park always attracts a huge crowd, and there's been a great crowd here to see the 2018 British Sidecar Championships crowned. The title goes back to Scotland for the first time since Jock Taylor, that legendary man from north of the border. So, the next round is Assen in the Netherlands, and Kershaw and Clark go there as champions. There'll be a full complement of Dutch sidecar drivers as well. So thanks for watching. Join us in Holland. Bye-bye for now.